All television and radio stations in the United States will now cease their regular programming.
As you can see in Revelation chapter 13 verse 4, which is after the one world political system receives the deadly wound, and after Satan appears as the false Christ, they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, the image of the beast that you can read of later in the chapter being an image of Satan, who is the dragon, transmitted throughout the world when he appears as the Antichrist. And notice in Revelation chapter 14 and verse 11 that it's worshiping the beast and his image that's synonymous with receiving the mark of his name, the mark of the beast in their forehead where the mind is, or in their right hand, a figure of speech meaning the work they'll do for Satan because they'll think he's Jesus. For every positive there's a negative, and as far as the book of Revelation is concerned, you'll notice if the positive is supernatural, then so is the negative. Basically, the negatives having to do with Satan trying to imitate the positive. For example, the four living creatures we first see in Revelation chapter 4 that are in the midst of and round about the throne of the true God are most likely the positive to the negative we see in Revelation chapter 9 with the four angels loose from the Euphrates at the woe of the sixth trumpet, which is the same point in time as the sixth vial, when Satan appears as Antichrist when he sets up his throne claiming to be God. And as you can see in Revelation chapter 16 verse 13, which is after the sixth vial is poured out upon the great river Euphrates where those four angels were loose from, I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. The negative to the positive, that is the triune Godhead. The dragon being Satan, the false prophet being Satan's role of Antichrist, with the beast here being the supernatural aspect of the one world system. And if you look up the word brimstone in Revelation chapter 9 verse 17, you'll see that it's probably of 2304 in the Greek dictionary of the Strong's Concordance, which means Godhead, connecting the sixth trumpet to the fake triune Godhead we see in the sixth vial with the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. The false prophet being Satan's role of Antichrist when he appears in Jerusalem at the sixth seal, the sixth trumpet, and the sixth vial, when his image is transmitted throughout the world via the modern day technology. The seed of the mark of the beast coming to fruition at that time having been planted in the foreheads of most of the world by the four hidden dynasties of education, economics, politics, and religion. And once they see Satan appear as Antichrist is when most Christians will die spiritually, and they'll see him appear in Jerusalem via the modern day technology with the fallen angels in the fourth and final stage, which is the consumer stage, transmitting their images throughout the world also through the screens of all the televisions, smartphones, and computers. 200,000 seemingly, but really there are only 7,000 as we know from Revelation chapter 11 verse 13, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, as you can see in verse 17 of Revelation chapter 9, with the words fire, jacinth, and brimstone in the Greek meaning of fire, electricity that is to say, jacinth meaning deep blue as in the blue screens they'll appear on at the sixth trumpet, convincing most of the world Christ has returned when it's really Satan as the Antichrist. And that word sulfur in the Greek means sulfur-like, and silicon is just one element away from sulfur on the periodic table of the elements. And between sulfur and silicon, as you can see on the periodic table, is phosphorus, number 54 or 59 in your Greek dictionary, being phosphorus, which means light bringing or the morning star. In this case, the fake morning star when his image is worshipped via satellite at 666. The word phos being also used in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 14, where it says Satan himself is disguised as an angel of light, and that word phos being translated as fire only twice in the New Testament, and it's when Peter warms himself at the fire when he denied Christ 3 times, a type of the 3 Christian nations, Ephraim, Judah, and Manasseh, being plucked up by the roots at 666, as you can see in Daniel chapter 7, when they worship Satan instead of Jesus, denying the true Christ and worshiping the image of the beast on the screens of their TVs, smartphones, and computers. Sulfur being number 16 on the periodic table of the elements, silicon Babylon being number 14, which is what the television, smartphones, and computers are made from. The blue screens being described by the Jacinth, which is deep blue, number 5191 in your Strong's Concordance. So only 7,000 fallen angels, as we know from Revelation chapter 11, verse 13, they will only appear to be 200,000 because their images and voices will be transmitted throughout the world at 666. Unclean spirits like frogs, because again, in the plague of frogs in Egypt, the frogs infested the entire land of Egypt. In the futurist sense, the entire world, because that's how that third are slain spiritually, by the fire, smoke, and brimstone that issues out of the mouths of Satan's fallen angel locust army at the woe of the sixth trumpet, as well as the deception coming out of the mouth of Satan himself in his role of Antichrist, also called the false prophet, when he appears in Jerusalem with two horns like a lamb, but he'll speak as a dragon. At the sixth seal, the sixth trumpet, and the sixth vial, and it's at the end of the sixth vial that the seventh vial is poured out, which is when the battle of Armageddon transpires, when the true Christ returns with the armies of heaven, the rest of the 7,000 Zadok, the positive to the negative, that are the 7,000 fallen angels, who will be at that time destroyed along with Satan's role of Antichrist, called in Revelation 19:20 the false prophet.
Therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in a holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. And let them which be in Judea flee into the